Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. I apologize about the nighttime car video here. A little bit of a different look. I think I've only used this a couple times, driving around at night with the light on, driving around like Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the early days, driving around with that dome light on. But went to the Kings game tonight, and Kings got a win. Big time fun here in Sacramento. But I've been wanting to make this video all day today. Today's the first chance that I've got to sit down. I apologize that this is older news to you guys, but the other day I made a video about a rumor about WrestleMania, saying that John Cena might face Rey Mysterio. Of course, that was a rumor that was started. One of those good old dirty, nasty rumors. Good old Team Rai knows what I'm talking about. But this was a rumor that I believe was started by a guy who writes for Sports Illustrated, who covers wrestling. And some of these, rumors that this guy has been putting out as of late, some people have went out and have proved that they are not correct. I don't know if this guy's putting some false stuff out there online. But I made a video basically just putting it out there that this is a match that I would love to see. Ray and John are two of the best guys. In the business. Rey Mysterio made a comeback, of course, at the Royal Rumble this year. It was a one-time, night-only thing. But from listening to the Edge and Christian podcast with Rey Mysterio this week, Ray doesn't hide the fact that he wants to come back to WWE. He notices that every time he posts anything on social media, whether if it's a picture on Instagram or a tweet on Twitter, there's always, Rey Mysterio fans / WWE fans like saying, "Hey, Ray, when are you coming back to WWE?" I mean, it's awfully fun when Rey Mysterio is wrestling and he's on an independent show and it comes to your area. But besides for that, I mean, there's fans out there that, don't get Rey Mysterio coming to their town. Sacramento, California does not have a big independent wrestling scene where we can bring in a star like Rey Mysterio. In the past, I had traveled out to go to BTW Wrestling out in the Bay Area. I don't even think that Rey Mysterio has wrestled for them. He doesn't really come to my area. I know that he wrestled for a little while on Lucha Underground, and that's my own fault for missing that and not seeing it. But, I haven't seen Rey Mysterio wrestle in a long time. I know that there was a time he was wrestling for AAA, and there was a thought that he might actually go and wrestle for Impact, and I'm honestly glad that never happened, and that he didn't really go down that way, where the Hardys, they were stuck there for a while, and it really sort of helped them out in the long run. But we all know Ray is going to wrestle for WWE someday. The reason why they were talking about Mysterio is that he was wrestling on an independent show, and he injured a muscle in his arm, and this is probably going to keep him out of action for a while, to the point where he's probably going to not even be able to wrestle at WrestleMania if these rumors are true that he was going to be coming back. So we do know from the Edge and Christian podcast is that Rey Mysterio does want to wrestle for WWE. He does want to come back. There's a lot of matchups, whether that's a matchup against Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman. He really put over a lot of the guys down in NXT. That he wished he had a chance to wrestle. A lot of dream matches since Mysterio's been away. It's funny, now that I think about it, the whole thing that started with MLW's podcast, when Rey Mysterio was actually trying to get out of WWE, and he couldn't publicly come out and say it, but guys like Conan and Court Bauer were talking about it on the podcast, and they were trying to use the power of Twitter, using the hashtag #SaveRay. This is basically the company that Rey Mysterio had to beg to get fired from, and or released, whatever it is. But he had to beg to get out of the company, to go out and try to do his own thing. Now he's basically on the door. It's not like he's begging to come back, but I'm sure they're asking, and I'm sure that he's wanting to listen to what, you know, they have to say, what they're offering, and it sounds like they're going to come to an agreement somewhere down the road. What this leads to, basically with Rey not being back into the company, but him wanting to come back, and now this being he's now injured with an arm injury. It looks like if it's going to be anything other than Undertaker versus Cena, I don't know what it could be. I mean, anything short of Cena, you know, I think everybody can see he's not going to win the title at Fastlane. You know, him, you know, being added, making it a six-pack challenge, that's going to be a fun match, and it's honestly the only match that I can think that I know of on the Fastlane pay-per-view right now. But that's going to be a fun match. I mean, the only thing short of, you know, Cena showing back up on Raw and starting some beef with Roman and Brock, and, you know, getting him into that WWE Championship match, I really don't know what else there is for John Cena to do. I know that he had that short little program with Elias on Monday Night Raw. That was supposed to lead to something at the Royal Rumble that I don't think ever really happened. But I don't think anybody wants to see that at WrestleMania. So I still got my heart set that we're going to see Undertaker versus Cena. I think that's going to be the match, and I think that's going to knock it out of the park. So we'll see what goes down. WrestleMania is going to be up around the corner. Possibly not going to see anything going on with Rey for quite a while as his arm heals, and I don't think we're going to see anything with Cena and Undertaker until after Fastlane. So let's not count our chickens before they hatch. But as of right now, especially with this Mysterio injury, I really don't know what else there is to do other than Undertaker versus Cena, unless Cena's going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.